Hello, everyone. How are we? It's the 27th of June, 2021, and I'm literally sitting down with my accountant, working out how to reduce and minimize my tax before the 30th of June. 30th of June, sorry. So I thought I would call my coach, Mike. So I say, Mike, I have all this profit in my business. How the heck am I going to get rid of it? Otherwise, the ATO are going to get it. So Mike basically said to me, you need to reduce it by investing in your business for the areas that you actually is going to propel your business forward. What is really interesting is at that very moment was that I debated to myself the year before whether or not I could even afford a coach for $30,000 a year. However, despite this limiting belief, I knew I needed to hire somebody to hold me accountable and call me out on my BS stories that I've been telling myself for far too long. So I invested in a coach. However, what dawned on me in that particular moment was that I had 8x'd my business in that single year. And I realized that I wouldn't have done that without all of the personal work. So let me take you on an abridged version of my entrepreneurial journey. It is now the 3rd of March 2021, and it's time to do my first ever Facebook Live. And I am absolutely terrified, like terrified. So what I realized in that moment is that, okay, it's time for me to step up and face this fear head on. Honestly now, the blood drains from my face. I feel like I'm about to pass out. I literally feel the heat rising from my toes the whole way up to my throat, like a saucepan ready to boil over. My hands are clammy. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to vomit. So what I then hear is the voices in my head saying, who do you think you are, Sonia? What makes you think that what you have to say is something that anybody's going to want to hear? I realized at that moment I have a serious amount of work to do on myself. And what I'm feeling now is that I'm being triggered from my past. I feel like I'm after seeing a ghost. And that ghost is the ghost from my childhood years in school. One particular moment comes to mind, and I'm 14 years old, and I'm due to go out for lunch with one of my friends that day, only to be tipped off by one of my classmates to say that there was a gang of girls from another school waiting at the school gate for me, wanting to beat me up. For reasons I have completely no awareness as to why that would even happen. I didn't even know who the girls were. So I decided to myself, in order to avoid putting myself in danger, I said I'd stay put to my friend and told her I wasn't feeling well that day. Truth be told, I was absolutely so scared that I froze in the fear. And the fear that came up for me that day was the fear of being judged by other people. Albeit, I pushed through the fear, and I go on my Facebook Live, and it's titled Fear of Judgment. Very, very appropriate. And I start telling people about how it's been my first ever Facebook Live, and I'm afraid of being judged, and all of my scary demons come out to haunt me. And what I'm met with is at the other side is that I have these most amazing comments from people saying, wow, good on you for standing up and taking the courage to stand up for yourself that day. And then I also feel this immense sense of empowerment for getting to the other side of my fear and the BS story I've been telling myself for far too long that I wasn't good enough. And then my inner voice tells me, see, you're amazing. What were you afraid of? Sure, you could do it. I know you could do it. You are incredible. True story. How many of us have had fear paralyze us from taking the necessary next steps in our business? Yeah, me too. How many of us have had to suppress these experiences in order to get on with normal life? We all have. And how many of us feel that we're not worthy of success? Truth is, we all feel that from time to time. The thing is, guys, when it comes to trauma, Trauma will come back and bite you in the ass unless you're willing to deal with it head on and step up. The thing is, with business, it triggers all of your trauma. And if you keep avoiding the trauma, it will catch up with you. So fear nearly paralyzed me that day from getting my message out there. And honestly, it actually paralyzed me so many years before that in my business. But I thought to myself, it was actually time to step up and deal with this fear head on. So I took a giant leap of faith, invested in myself, and done the inner work. Because, today, an external brand does not happen without the inner work. It doesn't. Overcoming my fear and allowing myself to be seen was without a doubt where my business had a full 360 turn. From the moment I got over myself and stopped making it about me and my issues and made it about the people who I know I can help and what I'm here to do, was where everything changed. Thank you. I remained focused in my mission and what I was here to do, and that was to help business owners work smarter, not harder, so that they can spend more time with the people they love the most, and they never have to worry about where their next sale is coming from. I've been telling myself all these years that this mantra, and that is that my job is to be the light despite the chaos, and I need to lead the way. I started my personal brand, Sonia the Search Queen, in 2020, and I really started building myself as a brand from that point. Unfortunately, within my industry is that a lot of people promise the world and fail to deliver. And nobody at the time was talking about the smoke and mirrors that surround Google search and the BS stories and the false promises that are being made. So it got me thinking, in order for me to make tidal waves within my industry, I needed to invest in my audience and for them to really understand who I am on a personal level, because people buy from who they know, like, and trust. So that was where I started sharing testimonials of the work that we've done, and I started talking about all of the false promises being made. And honestly, from that point, I realized that my audience really just wanted to get to know me on a personal level. Once that happened, everything changed. But for the first 2.5 years of my business, I thought at the time I was doing a great thing, which I was. I was educating people around content, around what it takes to be found on Google, but I was hiding behind my camera. I was not ready to show up on the tough days at all. I was hiding behind my computer, posting my content, thinking I was great, and I was great at the time. But when you realize there's another level in business that you can get to, you just need to get out of your own way. That was where it happened for me. So from there, 5 years later in business, we now work with clients all over Australia. We have a client waiting list. I get tagged on Facebook groups from people I've never met as the go-to expert for Google, as well as business growth. I am a paid keynote speaker. To think one day that my fear of public speaking got the better of me is beyond me. And our business has been awarded a trusted Google partner by Google. I've been recognized as the top SEO expert in my industry in 2023, and I have 11x my business since the day that my business started. Thank you. All of that would not have been possible if I did not move past that fear and allow myself to be seen. Now, each and every one of you in this room, whether you know it or not, you all have a personal brand. If you have a business, you have a personal brand. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. So I have a few key takeaways for anyone looking to develop their personal brand. And the first one is video yourself and practice. Honestly, when I first started hearing my voice back, geez, I cringed. I was like, oh man, listen to you. Anyway, the more that you practice, the more you'll actually befriend yourself, and you'll make it less about yourself and focus on your mission. Next thing, focusing on your vision and not the money. The thing is, when it comes to being online, the BS detector is so high, so people can feel when you're not being genuine and when you're in it for the money. But when you focus on your mission and your vision for your life, People feel that, and the money comes anyway because it's a direct reflection on how many lives you touch. Do the inner work. Lean into the uncomfortable. Lean into the fear. Just remember, fear is the frame that you're giving it. Reframe it as being excitement, because that is genuinely what it is. Because when you're excited and when you're fearful, you have the same reaction. Hire a coach. Do not take advice from anyone not qualified enough to give their opinion. Trust me. And honestly, lean into the work that your coach gives you to do, because sooner or later, it does catch up with you when you're being triggered, because it's showing you things that you have not healed. So you might as well be in control of getting the lesson rather than the universe giving it to you out of the blue. Challenge yourself. Put yourself in these uncomfortable situations. Every step of business, if you go to another level, there's another devil. So you might as well embrace the discomfort, because you're going to be constantly uncomfortable in business. It's the reality of the situation. Get over yourself. Stop making your business about you and about poor me. I can't do this because I'm not worthy enough. We've all been there, every single person. But the more that you make peace with that, the more that you will reach the next level in business. So honestly, get over yourself. And be consistent. Show up on those days when you do not want to show up. Trust me, I've had those moments where I'm like, fuck me, I don't want to be in the camera today. I don't want to put myself on story. But you know what? My audience are just human people like all of us. We all have our daily struggles. So the more that you can actually show who you really are, authentic, flaws and all, people will relate to you at a far, far deeper level, and it'll be a lot more genuine. Oh, sorry. So my business, Search Republic, we help businesses be found on Google for the problems that they solve. And what we find is that when clients start working with us, they never want to leave, purely because our marketing pays for itself and they make profit on top. If you guys feel aligned or want to know more, please feel free to scan the QR code. And also I want to invite you at this moment in time to take a picture of this slide to reference back later, because it's something that we all go through. And from my family to your family, Sláinte agus gurb míle maith agat, which means thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Incredible. Thank you so much, Sonia.
Pleasure.
Thanks.